the fuck am I gonna do? Cross out the M and put Al? And I'm like, fuck, man. I was like, this dude's just like invested so much in what's going on, you know what I mean? And just so much time into it, you know what I mean? I mean, where in the fuck do I get off just walking away like that, you know what I mean? And needless to say, I could do it, but I don't know if I could honestly get away with it, you know, to myself, you know what I mean? And so, and to be honest, it's not a bad thing what we're doing, you know what I mean? I mean, we're just trying to, at least for me, I just want to try and make people laugh and keep people funny. And again, there's a lot of, when you said, like, and you even said to me, you said, look, I know you have a lot of shit going on in your life right now with the whole transplant thing coming up and all that, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, maybe this dude does kind of fucking get what, you know what I mean? Because there was a part of me that was like, well, fucking, is he just like fucking ego tripping or what the fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, what the, you know, I don't know, dude. I was just looking at all these fucking negative things, dude, you know? And just being, is dickish a word? Dickish? I was just being a dick about it, you know what I mean? I really was, and I don't know.
I'll be the first one to admit when it comes to how I was raised. No. I'm gonna own up to the ego part. One of the biggest pet peeves of growing up in my family was my older brother. And I feel like he has a wildly out of control ego. And because I felt diminished being around him. And he has a type A alpha male type personality. And I could either butt heads and try to compete and try to own up to who I am and assert myself like, you know what, I'm a confident, secure, and independent man too. But I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of wasted energy. I can just be enjoying life.
Fuck it.
Why bother? You know, like fuck it. Let him fucking be. You know, the older brother. You know, the big.
Go do you, boo boo.
But a part of me feels like, you know what? There is a lot of great things to your personality, Wes. You got to give yourself credit and don't take back seat. You know, realize where you can be and own that space. Even if it's, you know, in the shadow of somebody who's got a bigger personality, you know, just own that space wherever you're at and whoever's around you. And to be able to do this kind of show, to feel confident enough that people are going to want to listen to what I have to say, takes a pretty big ego.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping with enough experience... I'm going to have quality and character and comedy filling into that space where I feel confident. So right now, the only thing going for me to keep this going is the delusion that people want to listen to what I have to say. And I've got interesting, compelling conversation coming out of me. Don't you know? I am a special person.
Please listen to me. You know, it's funny that you say that about the whole older brother thing, because I you know, I went through that. I was a middle child too, you know, and my brother always, as far back as I can remember, I was just dumb shit. He'd always, oh, you're just a dumb shit, you know, and even till this day, you know, I can look. I'm 41. I have my own place. I'm in recovery. I have 5 years recovery. I've got a fiance.
5 years recovery.
Yeah, I have a son who I take care of. You know, I have. You know, I'm taking care of things the way I'm supposed to. You know what I mean? I pay my bills. I do. You know, I'm responsible. I'm a good, you know, husband, father. I'm doing all these things I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? And yet, I go to my brother's house, and he's like, "What's up, dumb shit?" And I go back to that. Yeah. I go back to where, like, I feel like I'm fucking 10 years old again, you know? And he'll knock me down off of that pedestal so quick, and, you know, or I'll be having a conversation, you know, and I'll know I'm right. And I'll be like, just fucking let him own it.
Fuck it.
Let him have it, man. Who gives a shit?
Right.
You get to leave this fucking house in 10 fucking minutes.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Right. And I always say, man, you know what? I'm not going back. I'm just, you know. And here, and a week will go by, 2 weeks will go by, or whatever, you know what I mean? and next thing you know, he's like, I'll see him somewhere in passing or whatever, you know, and he'll be like, oh yeah, did you hear that so and so's in concert and blah blah blah, you know, and we're talking like nothing ever happened, you know what I mean? But I guess that whole ego thing is because I know I have an ego, you know what I mean? I know I do. You know, and I try to keep it in check as much as I can, you know what I mean?
But there are a lot of beneficial characteristics that you have for somebody being around you, especially the younger recovering person.
Right.
You have a sense of experience when it comes to dealing with problems.
Right.
Owning up to the fact that I'm not, you know, the greatest human being, but I'm working on trying to be better than what I was. Right. And when I came into recovery and met you, that was one of the things that inspired me about you is you owned your mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you use them as a teaching tool as a frame of reference for yourself, right, and to show someone else that, look, these are mistakes that can happen.
Right. I'm fallible.
And so having you around for the show purposes, right, is really one of those are the traits, how you were able to deliver, keep people's attention, tell a story of your life. Right. And be entertaining, you know, right, with your delivery, the content that you had, and I knew that you'd be able to bring that to the table here.
Right. I have so many people.
I wouldn't call it ego. I would just say it's being comfortable with where you are, having had to
with my insanity,
and that's the thing, is owning it, going through enough lows in your life where you're like, okay, I know how bad I can potentially be, and right where I am is damn good.
Right. And you know what? And it's funny because I would say that in meetings too, you know. I would say, you know what? I can be a real motherfucker if I have to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I really want to just shut myself off to the fucking world and get the fuckets, you know? Because that's one of the things too. That's one of my problems until this day.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that is that I started getting the fuckets during this past week. I'm gonna get into this a little bit more in depth in the future with another show, and when it comes to the dating thing and the frustrations of dealing with rejection, and I hate feeling rejection. I'm afraid to do things where there's little loss at risk,
right? Just
because there is a sense of rejection that might come along with that risk. So I've been dealing with, you know, the troubles of dating,
right?
And
understandable.
I brought that to your attention,
right?
And I felt that there was content in that because everybody can relate to dating because it involves relationship, it involves male and female interactions, and that's compelling conversation, right, especially when they're males and females talking about coexisting together. I mean, in a sense, we're two different aliens trying to get along on the same planet. and it's crazy because it almost feels like we're talking two different languages, but we can understand each other, and it's like, how the hell do we coexist? And let's be honest, I don't think anyone's figured that out yet.
No.
I mean, it's a lesson in trial and error and trying to eliminate the errors, right, and focus on where the positive comes from. So
I don't see how normal people can handle rejection, dude. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
I don't either.
I hold the resentment against motherfuckers.
But for me, it dredges up the past, and I don't like living there. And
right,
and it's hard for me to recall a lot of things that happened in my past, just because I want to look forward to tomorrow and, right, you know, what's ahead of me today. I don't want to look at what happened yesterday because that's in the past.
And I'll say this: the show we did where we were looking for when Ryan came, when Oh my God.
Julian.
I don't know why I forgot. That name just skipped out of my head. When Julian came to town and we did that whole thing, right? And you guys are all telling stories, you know what I mean? And the whole time, I'm like, really, Wes? Wes did this shit? Really? Just, it made me realize that I don't even know who you really are, you know what I mean? Other than what you've displayed to me in these 2 years. And like I said, these 2 years that we've known each other, we really never really hung out, dude. Like, you came to my birthday party, right? And we hung out like that. And then,
I'll drop by once in a while. Right. We would been to the movies a few times.
And then when you got your Nintendo 3DS or DS3 or 6912, whatever the fucking name is in that thing, whatever, and you drop by and you're like, hey, check out my new toy, you know? And it was like, you know, so we kind of hung out, you know what I mean? But, like, they're telling me that, you know, I'm hearing these stories about how you're fucking balled up in the middle of the road. And I'm like, this dude, he was like, I really felt a connection to you, period, because it's like, fuck, he knows what it's like to be flipped out on fucking shrooms, you know, and you know, like, it really made me see, like, fuck, Wes is like the real deal, man. He's like, fuck, he's not like one of these motherfuckers that walks into a fucking room because he had one too many drinks. Right. You know, I drank too much fucking one time, and so now here I am, and my wife says she's gonna leave me or what, you know what I mean? And so it's like, fuck.
I need recovery. Right. I just found that out before it got really bad.
But it just showed me.
But I am fallible, and that's a point I was trying to make. The fuckets were hitting me hard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when you called and said, I'm not doing the show anymore, thoughts of drinking came into my head more than they ever have in my recovery. And
be honest, were you like, fuck this guy? Fuck him?
No, I was like, fuck it.
Okay.
In general, you know, I want to make this thing happen. And if I gave up on this, that's a big notch in my life that I can put next to all the other things that I've tried and failed because I gave up on. Right. And I'm hitting an age where I'm 35 years old. You know, I don't have too much time to figure out what it is I want to do. Right. That's gonna make me happy. You know, I'm at the point where it's like, well,
sink or swim, motherfucker.
Right. And I think, you know, if I can do this podcasting thing and make a legitimate, you know, life-sustaining thing out of it, that'll be awesome. You know, I don't want to be rich. I just want to do something I love to do and make money at it. Right. And I tried that with my art, but a sense of failure and rejection is way too strong with that. Right. I put my...
And we're our biggest critics, dude. I did the art thing for like 10 years, dude.
And when you put time and effort into something to create a picture and you love and you have passion for, that you don't, it's hard to say, look how fucking awesome this is, you know? And
people look at you like, oh man, motherfucking ego.
That's a part of every artist, is I fucking love what I just made. And when somebody glances at it, spends like half of Mississippi looking at your art and then moving on with their life, it's like, dude, I put fucking days and days into that. And
you know how many calluses I got because of that motherfucker?
Right, that's my passion. That's my love. That's
you see the way I mixed that red and blue to create that fucking purple haze that fades out? Yeah, I did that shit.
That's love. Did you recognize
that? Did you see that?
I did that for you, and everybody else is looking at that. And you just want to move on with fucking what's on TV? Right. Really?
How dare you?
So when it comes to doing my art as a career, it's scary as hell to take that into a career type life where I'm constantly risking getting rejected. Here I'm turning this in to make a living out of, and let alone I'm not meeting the quota or the expectations to make money at it.
Right.
My soul is getting crushed. You know, my emotions. I'm way too emotionally attached
Right.
to my